I still think the Baltimore Ravens are the best thing we saw in the preseason. They've got everything coming together. They've got elite quarterback play with Lamar Jackson. He didn't play a ton in the preseason, but he's all good to go.
Greetings and salutations, and welcome to the Odd Coaches Podcast. I am your host, Dr. Keith Adams, and on today's Top Shelf Tuesday edition NFL Kickoff Special, the wait is over. We are now prepping for Week 1. In segment 1, we'll preview the AFC. In segment 2, the NFC. And in segment 3, we will talk about things strictly for entertainment purposes only. Joining us today, our Teacher of the Month every month, Mike Connors, and our Captain for Life, Will Cotton. So let's jump into it. Mike, as we prepare for the season, we want to know the best, worst, and most surprising things of each division. Let's start with the AFC North. Mike, what's the best thing you saw as we head into the season from the AFC North? Best thing, sir.
I still think the Baltimore Ravens are the best thing we saw in the preseason. They've got everything coming together. They've got elite quarterback play with Lamar Jackson. He didn't play a ton in the preseason, but he's all good to go. They have a dominant defense, which they've had for a long time. Their front office reloaded them again. They have stability in their coach with signing Harbaugh to an extension. The Ravens have everything going on, ready to prime to start the season. So I think they're the best thing right now in the AFC North, or excuse me, AFC. North.
AFC North. You got it. All right, they are teed up and ready to go. Cotton Man, best thing headed into the AFC North. What do you think?
I'm with Connors. I got to go to the Ravens. I mean, I'm not going to say the same things, but for the last couple of years, they're actually going into the season healthy. No one major is hurt. I know that's been a big thing for them moving forward. So that's probably the best thing for them. Healthy and loaded.
Okay. Cotton, I'm going to stay with you because I think you might go this route. Worst thing from the AFC North you see headed into the season?
It's got to be the Browns. It's got to be. Got to be the Browns because the season starts next week, and you know what they say: when you have 2 or 3 quarterbacks, you have zero quarterbacks. And they don't understand what the plan is. I know they're like, hey, we're gonna put Flacco out there and start the season, and we're gonna figure it out. And that's not what I want to feel like or hear if I was a Cleveland Browns fan, that we're gonna figure it out. So you should have been figured it out. Sanders should have been playing, or at least positioned himself to play. And Gabriel should have never been on the team. They wasted a 3rd-round pick on that kid, and they've just mismanaged the whole thing. They even came out and said, the owner was like, I didn't even want to draft him, and then he looks better than the guy that you actually did drafted. So they're a mess right now, and they'll be in the they're a mess. What are the Browns?
Connors, worst thing in the AFC North, sir.
I mean, not even a question. The Browns are the worst thing in the NFC North, in the AFC North. I mean, they've had over 24 quarterbacks in the last 25 seasons. Their coaching carousel, has been stable the last 2 years, but who knows about that? Historically, they're so inconsistent. They've never been to a Super Bowl. They're just a debacle in football. I mean, they should be in the AFC South, not even the AFC North.
Okay, we'll stay with you, Connors. What's the most surprising thing as we head into the season from the AFC North?
I got to go with the Steelers. Is Tomlin going to be on the hot seat again this year? Is Rodgers really the answer? We all know he'll tell you that he is. He's the best quarterback ever. Just ask him. He'll tell you. I tell you that all the time. But, we'll have to wait and see what happens with them. The Steelers, they're one of the most stable organizations in history. 3 coaches in the franchise's history dating back to the 1960s. So, I mean, this is an organization that is the definition of stability and consistency. And the last couple of years, it's gotten a little shaky. So we'll have to wait and see what happens.
All right, Cotton Man, on you. Most surprising AFC North.
It's got it. Well, I guess we're talking about Steelers. We'll talk about the Bengals a little bit. We'll see what they look like. The offensive side looks really good. The defense looks a little questionable. Now I know Trey Hendrickson, he signed an extension. Great, $114 million. Excellent. I forgot the young man that they drafted. But they drafted a 1st-round pick for the D end. So we'll see what that could look like. I mean, if you have 2 really good D ends that are blowing up the defense. They struggle with, not defend it, but they struggle with protecting Burrow. if they can figure that out, watch out, man. I think they'll be a dark horse in the definitely in the AFC.
All right, so now let's jump to the AFC South. Will, best thing if you can find something from the AFC South.
Cam Ward could actually win the actual division. I
He
mean,
could.
it's not likely, but it could happen. I mean, of all the teams there, I would say he's probably the second best quarterback. I'm out of Trevor Lawrence. I don't think that guy's going to become who he is. CJ Stroud, I'll make him still the best quarterback out there, but there's still questions. They don't have Diggs anymore. And Mixon is not starting the season, so we'll see how good it can be. Yeah, it's going to be pretty tough for Houston. I think in terms of stability and identity, I'm definitely going to think that the Titan the Titans seem like they're going to scare some people, excite them. So they got a young quarterback. They're going to enjoy the same vibe off the Jaden Daniels, CJ Stroud the first year before that. They're trying to ride that wave. So yeah, I think they're going to be probably the best, and they're going to not the best, but they'll definitely
Best thing you saw
best thing
coming
I
into
saw.
this
Yeah.
season. All right, Connors, AFC South. Is there a best thing you saw as we head into this season?
Uh, let's go with Travis Hunter being selected by the Jacksonville Jaguars. Heisman Trophy winner, two-way player. Let's see what happens with that. Can Jacksonville turn it around? Stability of coaching has been a question mark there. Everyone knows I'm a Clemson guy. I'm hoping Travis shows us something this year at quarterback. Trevor Lawrence, excuse me. So I don't know. We'll go with Jacksonville.
We'll stay with you for the AFC South. Worst thing heading into the season for the AFC South.
Indianapolis Colts. Let me start with this. The owner of the Colts passed away this year. Horrible situation. The daughters are inheriting the team. I wish no ill will towards them with that. This is a big transition for them as an organization. The Irsay family's been involved in the NFL for decades and decades. So condolences to them on the loss of their dad. But Daniel Jones is their starting quarterback. He's starting over the quitter Anthony Richards. I'm sure he's still exhausted from getting out of the car and walking to the locker room to work out. But I mean, I have no ill will to Daniel Jones as a Giants fan. He's just not that good a quarterback. I hope he goes in there and is an all pro for himself, but I just, AFC South.
Oh my God. Go ahead, Will. What's the worst thing in the AFC South?
I'm sticking with the Colts because, they're pretty much tanking at this point. I think they're going to look and say, hey, we can't win with this current team. I think even the ownership is like, hey, I don't know any of these guys. So let's start from scratch and let's do what we got to do. I mean, you got you have one of the worst things that you can have as a bad team is an overpriced running back. So they will definitely be trading Jonathan Taylor at some point this season because they know they're not going to be winning. They have two quarterbacks who can't win, and like I said previously, if you got two quarterbacks, you got zero. So they're going to have to. I think they're all in and getting to the next stage of whatever it is the Colts are going to do. They're going to be a rough season in Indy, but. They'll have some options. If they can get rid of Taylor, they'll have some cash. They're not buying or putting a contract out for a quarterback, so they're not going to strap for any like cash like Trevor Lawrence or Tua cash like contracts. So I mean, it may be worst right now, but I think the better the sun is coming for Indy.
All right, Will, I'll stay with you. Most surprising thing, AFC South as you head into the season.
Just how the Texans have regressed. You think that they were supposed to take those steps. 2 years ago, they made the playoffs, and CJ Stroud was amazing, and everyone was like, "Okay, let's do it." And then he did it again. Obviously, AFC South, but you got to beat who's in front of you, so it is what it is. They lost to the Chiefs. They did beat the Browns, and then they're coming into this season. They lost Diggs. I think there's another receiver that they lost for the season as well. And the running back is gone. Mixon is out for at least 4 games. The only solace for them is that they play in the AFC South.
All right, Connors, most surprising thing, AFC South.
One of these teams is going to make the playoffs. That's
Yes,
the most
they are.
surprising thing.
Yes, they are. Somebody's going.
It's going to be a losing record making the playoffs, and they're going to be hosting a
Hosting.
wild card team with 12 wins, and everyone's going to lose their flipping mind over it.
All right. Connors, I'm going to stay with you.
Okay.
AFC East, best thing you've seen coming into the season from the AFC East.
The best thing I've seen in the AFC East coming into the season, let's go with Vrabel up in New England. He's doing a good job. I mean, he was a good coach in Tennessee. Kraft went out of his way to go get him. Let's not mention tampering. So there is a lot going on there. I'm not sure about their quarterback position. They did bring in Tommy Cutlets to be their third string when the Giants released him a few weeks ago. So I'm going to go with the best thing is the New England Patriots turning around their culture. I'm not saying they're going to be a good team or a playoff team, but culturally they struggled the last couple of years, and I think Vrabel is the solution for them. Maybe not this year, but long term, he's going to get them in the right spot.
All right, Codman, AFC East, best thing heading into the season.
I think the Bills are like the Ravens. I mean, we'll see what happens at the end of the season, but you have Hard Knocks heavy on the internet, going out everywhere. They're getting these new uniforms. They got the white one, the cold. Them joints cold too. They got these nice white jerseys. They're going on prime time. They're all these prime time games. Yeah, they got Josh Allen. He's good and everything. He went coming off an MVP campaign last year. They signed James Cook. They give him some money. They feel like just like the Ravens, this is their team. And I think from week one, we'll see what's going on. And hopefully they're playing each other back in the AFC Championship later. But the Bills are probably the best thing right now in the AFC.
All right. And yes, I took the over, and we'll talk about that in segment 3. Codman, worst thing AFC East headed into the season.
Oh, man, so many things. I mean, it used to be the Jets, but they actually look more capable. I mean, I would say more so, shoot, the Dolphins. I mean, the Dolphins, one of those teams that just doesn't know what they're doing. Another regression from last year, so they got worse from last year, and 2-0 is just a ticking time bomb for is he going to be out for an extension period of time? So I think it's the worst is probably the Dolphins, man. And they're probably, to be honest with you, 2 or 3 in a row losses, McDaniels is gone.
Yay. Connors, worst thing from the AFC East headed into the season.
The Dolphins not securing a real backup quarterback or someone to challenge Tua for the starting position. Who did they bring in to back up a man with concussion issues? Zach Wilson. And what number did they give him? 0. Because that is how qualified he is to be a starter in the NFL right now. I mean, Tua, God bless him. I hope he never sustains another injury, but the man is trauma to the head repeatedly. We've talked about them either sitting him last year or finding a viable backup. They have Zach Wilson and Quentin Ewers, the rookie out of Texas. You couldn't find a veteran to be in that room as a safety blanket in case this poor man gets hurt again. The Dolphins are turning into the Browns. It's awful.
Okay, Connors, I'm going to stay with you. Most surprising thing headed into the season from the AFC East.
I thought I'd see more from the Jets in the preseason. Not saying that they've been horrible, but I thought they'd make a little more noise. Up here, they talk about how their camp has been much more physical, much more, a lot more hitting, a lot more discipline. The coach hasn't tried to be Belichick. He's been more Parcells-like, but I'm expecting a little bit more from them. And I haven't heard great things or seeing great things from their quarterback. And I was hoping to see a little bit more. Not saying, I mean, preseason's preseason. He's still learning the system. He could still be an all-pro, but I was hoping to see a little bit more. And I think the Jets will have a good year, but I was hoping to see a little more flash from them in the preseason.
All right. Codman, most surprising thing, AFC East heading into the season.
It's got to be the Jets. They're most surprised. You know what surprises me? They had a defensive coach who was doing things he had to do, and then they fired him for this other guy who I guess he's offensively in terms of, and now they have a defensive.
He's defensive also.
Oh, they're all defensive.
Yeah.
So I mean, that's at least consistency in terms of kind of what your identity is going to be. So I'm surprised by what they're going on. See, the thing about the Jets are they always have decent talent. They always have talent that can go out there and put out there and compete. They've paid Garrett Wilson. They paid Sauce Gardner. So, I think you're pretty saying like we're investing in our youth, and we'll see, man. I mean, they have a young quarterback. I think we'll see about that. I think Brees Hall. I think we're still asking about that question because he hasn't had a good season yet. He got injured 2 years ago. He's still trying to make his way back. So I'm surprised to see what's going on with them. They've been very quiet, and like you said, Coach, being quiet is very good to be.
Good thing. All right, let's finish off AFC West. Cotton Man, best thing headed into the season from the AFC West.
AFC West, man. I mean, outside the Chiefs, I mean, there's not much out there in the West. I guess we'll go with the Raiders, man. The Raiders got a brand new running back. They got a brand new quarterback. They're probably the best quarterback they've had in the last 5-7 years for sure. There's really excitement in Vegas. I don't know if it's real or tangible, but they did a really good job without tanking to still be relative in terms of what's going on. I think they'll be decent. I think 7-9, 7-10, not terrible, but not good enough that'll be able to move the needle or get better with like a prospect or thing like that.
All right, Connors, best thing you see headed into the season, AFC West.
AFC West, the best thing heading into the season is in Kansas City. Travis and Taylor got engaged. Can you believe it? A big wedding coming up. Not a lot happened in the West.
Okay. And actually, that did cross my I work with, I think they're called Swifties. So I was asked about
I'm with
that.
it. I don't know why everybody doesn't like it. I
think it's great.
If you have enough time to hate on Kelsey and Taylor Swift, you got a lot of things going on.
Will Cotton, as we take it aside, do I want to know who your girlfriend is? I don't care about any of this. We've got practice. Keep that out of my gym. All right. Mike Connors, worst thing, AFC West. But I did know who everybody's girlfriend was. All right, AFC West, Mike, worst thing headed into the season.
Denver Broncos, again, not bringing in a great quarterback to back up Bo Nix, excuse me. Nix had a good freshman year or rookie season. I don't know how he's going to do in his second year. I thought they'd go out and make a splash, maybe get him some big signings, and they did not. So I'm going to give them the big disappointment. Sean Payton, I'm hoping turns them around a little more this year, but I'm a little concerned about Nix in the sophomore slump, to be honest with you. He was very inconsistent in college, great games, bad games. So I'm worried that after a very good rookie season, he might come down a little bit.
Defense coordinators have tape now. All right, Cotton Man, worst thing headed into the AFC West.
I don't know about I wouldn't say worse, but it's concerning. I just don't really think that the Chargers are very good. I just don't think they're very good. I mean, they went and they got a running back, Najee Harris, who got hurt with a fireworks situation going on, and nobody really know what's going on apparently. But it can't be good if it's not, hey, I'm on the field looking great. Other than that, something's going on. I'm still got questions about Justin Herbert. I think people love his arm, they love his throw, but that doesn't really lead to winning all the time. Those great looking balls get intercepted. They do. Everybody can catch them. So I think that's probably one of the worst things. I think they're a wolf in sheep's clothing. I don't think they're real. I think they look good by the Harbaugh name. He's known for winning. They'll be relevant because he's that kind of personality, and I don't see that in Los Angeles.
All right, Connors, what about you, sir?
I'm going to say the most surprising thing to me is the Raiders seem to be trying to get their swagger back a little bit. Okay, when we were growing up as kids in the 70s and 80s, they'd have to go into jails and bail out the Raiders defense. Lyle Alzado, John Matuszak, all those guys were animals. And they had the theory of, if you do that to me again, I'm going to beat you up in front of your family. Now, this is a little bit more PG than that. But over the course of the year or preseason, some fans from Seattle were holding up signs that Geno Smith and Max Crosby didn't like. So they replied with giving the finger to the fans. And when they questioned Pete Carroll about it, he said, did you see what the sign said? So maybe they're trying to get a little bit of that edge back to them. Now, it's the 2025 edge, not going out and beating someone with a tire iron like they did back in the 70s. But, it's a little bit of swagger in this world of 24/7 news coverage. So I like it.
All right. So fans, when we get back in segment 2, it's coming. We're going to talk about the NFC, and best, worst, and most surprising in all divisions. Be right back on the Odd Coaches Podcast. Hi, everyone. I'm Dr. Keith Adams, and for years, I've witnessed the struggles student athletes face on how to truly balance the demands of academics and athletics. It's a question that I have dedicated my life to answering. That's why I wrote Finding the Balance, my personal journey to academic and athletic success. It's more than just a book. It is my personal journey, and it is filled with hard-earned lessons from decades as a coach, educator, and now president of the CKA Safe Project. Inside, you will find practical advice, real-life stories, and a clear roadmap to help student athletes, coaches, and parents navigate the complex world of balancing sports and education. And now I am thrilled to bring this message to a wider audience as a proud member of the Cascade Sports Network. We're partnering to amplify these crucial conversations about student-athlete success. I believe every student-athlete deserves the opportunity to reach their full potential, both on and off the court and the field. You can purchase your copy directly from our website at www.ckasafeproject.org. Join me and the Cascade Sports Network as we work together to help every student-athlete succeed. Welcome back to the Odd Coaches Podcast. And in segment 2, we're going to go best, worst, and most surprising, starting with the NFC North. Cotton Man, I hope we're staying on brand with this. Best thing you saw, NFC North heading into the season.
Man, everybody's going to say the Packers, but no, I think the best thing is still the Detroit Lions.
Yes.
I will tell everyone's like, oh, well, Michael Parsons kind of moved the needle. And I'm like, nah, I mean, they already have a DN that's coming back that's going to do things. And he's already good. He's amazing. I still think that's team. I think it's the Lions team to lose in the North. I think that they're probably looking to other people. They're like, bet we can move quietly now because everyone's thinking that Packers are going to win. I've even heard where people are saying that Packers are going to the Super Bowl. I've heard all of those things. And I'm like, you really thinking Micah Parsons is going to move the needle like that? I mean, that's not why they lost. If you got all the receivers got hurt and got beat up, you know what I'm saying? That's not why they stop anybody. But I still think the best team is still in NFC North is still the Lions.
All right, Connors, best thing from the NFC North headed into the season.
Hutchinson coming back for the Lions. We've talked about this in the past. It was a broken leg. Thankfully, it was not a joint injury. Bones heal stronger, unlike joints. So this young man is a special player. And to see him come back healthy, I think is going to be amazing for the league. When he is good, the league is better. I think that the Lions are going to have a chip on their shoulder. I think they're going to play angry. I think they kind of like that Micah went to the Packers, like Will said, and takes a little bit of the press away from them, little bulletin board material of, oh, yeah, you think that one guy's going to move the needle? He's not Lawrence Taylor, ladies and gentlemen. He's a good player. He's not Lawrence Taylor. So I think the best thing coming out of the NFC North right now is the Detroit Lions.
All right, Connors, I'm staying with you. Worst thing NFC North heading into the season?
The Vikings. I mean, J.J. McCarthy handed off the ball great for Michigan to win that national championship. His backup is Carson Wentz, who's 473 years old, and he got cut from the team that he led to a Super Bowl because the team was good and he wasn't. And their third-string quarterback is some guy named Max Brosmer. I don't even know who the hell he is. I think he was a holder for Alabama Tech or something like that. So the Vikings gave away with Sam Darnold. Who would have thought that they would have said, we hope we can build around the guy replacing Sam Darnold, but I just don't think the Vikings have it. They made a mistake in letting him go to Seattle.
All right, Codman, worst thing, NFC North.
I mean, I don't know how you have two back-to-back off seasons quarterback, but Caleb Williams definitely did. I mean, he's not looking good in camp. People are still talking questions if he's really take that next step. He wrote a stupid book about he didn't even want to be here. I mean, it was such a lackluster sort of offseason for them. They came into the training camp. I mean, last year, people were picking them actually to say, like, they're really going to make the playoffs or people were really going to shock the world. And now people are like, well, I don't know. And it's only been 1 year. So, it's not like Caleb Williams has played for like 4 seasons and he's like, well, he can't do it. He can't do it. It's like, dude, he was a rookie last year. And all of a sudden, he has this big question marks. So we'll see. I think they have probably had the worst. Because again, they didn't change anything. Swift is still. They have the same receivers. They have the same. I mean, again, they
But
have
they've got Ben Johnson.
yeah. I mean, how many touchdowns has that guy caught? Let me know. I'm saying.
All right.
But yeah, the Bears.
Okay. Well, I'm gonna stay with you. Most surprising thing from the NFC North heading into the season.
Oh, getting that gift of Micah Parsons to the Packers. I mean, that was the most surprising thing. I mean, we'll talk about it when we get to the NFC East, but it was like, if you're going to trade a player like that, why would you keep him in conference? Not only that, why keep him another traditional team that you're going to play constantly in the playoffs? Why even send a team that beat you last year? You know what I'm saying? Like, why? Why'd you do that? Like, I don't understand. But it's not about them. It's about the Packers, who got better with Micah Parsons, and they
Look
really
what I found. I got a $20 bill in my pocket.
Yeah, everyone's like, oh, they gave away two first round picks, whatever. Those kids are going to be, top end of the first round, top of the second.
May as well be a second round pick. Okay.
So
Connor, NFC North, most surprising, sir.
Yeah, the Packers pulling off the dubious trade to pull the wool over Jerry Jones's eyes by giving up 2 second-round picks and a decent D tackle to get one of the best defensive players in the league. I mean, Micah Parsons is an excellent player. Does he put them over the top? I don't think so. I don't think a D end or stand-up linebacker on the outside is going to make that big a difference in the grand scheme of winning a Super Bowl. But yeah, I mean, the Packers have knocked the Cowboys out of the playoffs the last 3 years, and then Jerry gives them his best player. We'll make fun of Jerry more in a little bit, but I give the Packers credit for this. If you had told me what team is he not going to go to, the Packers would have been in the top 5 on my list, just because traditionally they don't pull a big trigger like that and make blockbuster trades as one of the traditional build from within powers. So, but yeah, God bless them. I hope they have a great season.
All right. Connors, I'll stay with you. NFC South. Is there a best thing heading into the NFC South season?
Tampa Bay? I don't know. Someone's got to win the division. So I didn't hear anyone getting arrested out of Tampa Bay this summer. No major felonies committed by any roster members that I know of. They didn't have any major hurricanes hurt their stadium like the baseball stadium did, where they're playing in the Yankees minor league. So let's go with that. Tampa Bay is still in one piece.
All right. Codman, best thing, NFC South heading into the season.
I'm agreeing with Connors. I think Tampa Bay, I mean, not much to be hyped about, but I think after that Tom Brady Super Bowl, I think the organization kind of really understood and kind of really got themselves together. Every year they're really a team that you're like, oh yeah, these guys are going out and they're aggressive and they're going to try and win the division. Now, what happens in the playoffs is up to that. But I think they have a really good chance again to get to the playoffs again. Mike Evans can have another consistent 1,000-yard season. They have some interesting running backs with Bucky Irving and Rasheed White. I mean, you need to have 2 anyway. Cade Otton definitely came on as a much better tight end than people thought he was. I think they're going to be a team that people are really going to be looking for. I mean, again, this is like their 3rd iteration together. So these guys are really knowing each other's. It's going to be a lot easier. We're not learning the playbook anymore. We're just running stuff, and coach, if you remember, the difference between junior year and senior year was that senior year, there's no more thinking. It was just doing. So I think the Buccaneers are going to be much better than people thought, but we'll see.
All right. God, I'm going to stay with you. I think I know where you're going with this. Worst thing headed into the season from the NFC South.
Gotta be the Saints. Because I don't know ain't not one player on the team. Alvin Kamara. That's it.
He's got to be like 35 now.
Yeah, I think he's gonna get. I think he's gonna get traded. Obviously, they gave him money last year. That's a big sign of, hey, we appreciate it. Nice handshake. We're gonna trade you this midseason. They're obviously tanking. You couldn't name their quarterback if he had a gun to your head. Ain't know what happened. They gave him a little money, so they want to seem more competent. But yeah, it's gonna be a mess. It's gonna be a race for, and ideally, I thought it was funny. It was going to be a Colts Saints tank off for Arch Manning, which had both of their families in both those organizations. So it'll be interesting how the season goes. Who can tank better? I'm just mad they're not playing each other. There should have been a flex. Oh, you guys are losing? Okay, play each other.
Let's send them to Germany to play.
Yeah. No, don't do that. All right, that's Jacksonville. Connor's worst thing headed into the season for the NFC South.
Atlanta Falcons not dealing Kirk Cousins. I was very surprised with this. I thought that they would move him to a West Coast team to be a backup, but he can still play. I mean, the guy's one of the smartest businessmen quarterbacks out there. For a mediocre quarterback, he's made himself some serious bag.
That sounds like some Kirk Cousins slander, sir.
What? No. God bless him. I mean, I'm jealous of him. I wish I had his bank account. But he is not one of the top 10 quarterbacks in history, but he's probably one of the top 5 paid quarterbacks in history. So I hold no ill will. But with Michael Penix coming in and Kirk Cousins still being on the roster, I thought that could cause locker room problems. Now, as I've always said, I'm a special ed teacher. I'm not in the locker room. So I don't know. They could be the best of friends and he could be the greatest mentor out there. But I saw him going somewhere like to the Broncos to be a backup for Nix. And maybe if Nix starts to slip up, they could put him in with an established coach like Sean Payton there. So I was just surprised they didn't move him because I could see that if Penix has a little bit of a stagger here and there, people calling for Cousins, and that could cause some problems. But, pretty minor in the grand scheme of things.
Connors, I'm going to stay with you. Most surprising thing NFC South headed into the season.
One of these teams is going to the playoffs. It's a southern thing. NFC, AFC doesn't matter. They're the 2 weakest conferences. I think Tampa Bay will come out as the victor of this division, but you never know what's going to happen. One injury and who knows what's going to happen. The Panthers could run away with it for all we know. So it'll be an interesting division.
All right, Codman, most surprising thing, NFC South.
I don't really see anything surprising. Maybe if Bryce Young can really take that next leap and, like you said, takes and runs Carolina into the playoff, that'd be a huge surprising thing. But I don't really, nothing really surprising.
All right, Cotton, I'm letting you go first. NFC East, best thing you have seen this offseason in the NFC East.
Oh, well, it's got to be the Commanders for me personally. This was the first time that they've really had to go through a contract negotiations with a big name player that they didn't bring into their organization or draft him. And, everyone was kind of more optimistic about it. Everyone's saying, oh, it's going to happen. It's going to happen. You saw things that you saw. You saw he's at camp. He's signing autographs. He's talking to the coach. He's doing things like that. He's being a professional is what he was doing. And he was still voicing that his frustration with the organization. And then boom, they got it done. Great. Excellent. I mean, now one less, that was really the only thing that we were worried about moving into the season. But I think they can go right strong. I'm not going to say they're going to make it to the NFC Championship again, but they definitely can go in and make the playoffs and make some runs because the quarterback's amazing. They have 2 really good weapons on the side outside. They got rid of Brian Robinson, so now they can kind of focus and have a much better running game or much consistently running game. The defense still, we'll see what happens. The offensive line was improved. So we'll see. I think they had that's the best thing I heard this offseason for at least me, and I'm biased.
Yes, absolutely, and that's okay. Connors, let's see if you're going to keep that going. Best thing headed into the NFC East. What do you think?
For Michael King, I have to say this. The New York Giants. Everyone thought the Giants were going to be a joke going into this season. I'm not saying they're going to have a winning record, but the Giants have exceeded everyone's expectations so far in the preseason. They've gone 3-0. They scored the most points of any team. They let up the fewest. They had a differentiation of 60 points in those 3 games. Jackson Dart took all the press away from Abdul Carter and made his transition to the pros much easier. Russell Wilson has done everything that you could ask for a starter. Jameis Winston, as a roster player and mentor, has been doing an amazing job. All they talk about is what a great locker room guy he is. He leads Bible studies every day and has the team all up and ready to go. If you saw any of the Giants preseason games, every time they scored, the bench went crazy. Veterans who weren't going to play at all were running out on the field, chest stumping guys and everything. I have not seen that much enthusiasm in the Giants organization since the 80s. And that's saying something. When the NFC East is good, the NFL is better for it. We knew the Commanders were going to be good again. Eagles defending champions. The Cowboys, for some reason, people still think is America's team. So if the Giants can be a competitive team, it will make the league better. And so far, everything points to the Giants being very competitive. They're going to be a team that people do not want to play.
All right. Mike Connors, what is the worst thing you saw from the NFC East heading into this season?
I'm not even going to blame the team. I'm just going to blame the owner, Jerry Jones. Jerry Jones just took his team from a 50-1 chance to win the Super Bowl to 60-1. The Cowboys are now predicted to allow the most points in the NFL, with a projected 439 points allowed this season without Micah Parsons. He tried to spin this like, I did the best thing for the organization. This is going to be like the Herschel Walker trade. What? No, it's not. With Herschel Walker, you got top 10 picks. You're going to have like a 28-32 pick from the Packers. Jerry Jones can't get out of his own way. He couldn't share the spotlight with his college friend, Jimmy Johnson, when Johnson was making trades and winning them Super Bowls. He can't share the spotlight. He has to be the center of attention. All we said all offseason was how quiet it was in Boston, in Dallas, how crazy it is. It's been, so there's been no controversy. There's been no books talking about this or that and all this crazy stuff. Well, guess what? Jerry just showed that the king of crazy is still there. He's a Hall of Famer, sure. He built Jerry World, sure. He hasn't won a championship in 30 years. Might as well make it 31.
Yeah, my teaching career. All right. Cotton Man, worst thing heading into the NFC East that you've seen. What do you think?
Oh, I think Connor said it. I mean, it's got to be Jerry Jones. I mean, guys like Micah Parsons don't leave, and they especially don't get left for, what they got. Now
at 26.
Yeah,
at 26.
Yeah, I mean, he's not even old enough. He just got old enough to rent a car. He is not, you know what I'm saying? He is not, he's not old in any way. Now, the worst part about it was that Jerry Jones tried to bring in Micah Parsons allegedly and had that conversation with him. And then he was like, "Hey man, this sounds good. Sounds good. I'm gonna shake your hand. This sounds good." Da 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 da. And Micah Parsons went right back to his agent, and his agent was like, "No. Matter of fact, we're not doing this." And I don't think there was ever any sort of chance that they were gonna get it done. I don't think it was unless it would have had been an immense, like crazy amount of money that we wouldn't have to seen. And we did see some pretty good money, but it would have to be crazy, which is why Jerry probably said, "Nah, I don't want to do this anymore." And rather than saying like, "Hey, we got to blow this up," or, and it kind of sucks because the Cowboys don't have that opportunity to blow it up. They can't. They always have to compete. They can't say, "Oh, well, we're going to have a down year and that's what it is." It's very frustrating. I know the Yankees are the same way. They can't have a losing season. They can't, reset. And that's what needs to happen. I think, they need to trade Dak. I need to get rid of CeeDee Lamb. And you basically, like, when you get rid of Micah Parsons, you're basically saying like we're resetting. So I expect them next year, trade Dak at some point. CeeDee Lamb may hang around, may not. At some point, we'll see. But yeah, Connor said the same way. Jerry Jones, he needs to move out of his way. And the only way they're going to win is if he steps down.
And that won't happen. So we're going to say, Will, what's the most surprising thing from the NFC East headed into the season?
I wouldn't even say it's surprising, but the Giants, they have a great organization. I've always loved the organization. They're never bad for a long time. They'll have rough years, but they at least, and they're always a respectable team. And I didn't think how quickly it was going to happen. I mean, I think one of the things that kind of keeps Jameis around in the NFL is that he's a great locker room guy. People love Jameis, and
Mhm.
whenever teams go and Jameis is playing, Jameis is never the problem. At least on field, he's never the problem. He's never the guy in the locker room. He's having Bible studies. He's bringing people together. I saw a clip where he was like, "Hey, if you hit the crossbar on the field goal, then nobody got to run sprints. He hit this one, bing, and then jokingly he ran around. He said, "All right, who's following me to Bible study?" That's infectious. That's when you like each other, when you're really friends, and I think they like each other. I think they're going to be a very, very dangerous team in the next couple of years because yeah, it starts with the chemistry. Now they like each other. I think it's going to be very dangerous. And I think opening game will be a very surprising game to the Commanders if they don't take the Giants serious.
Okay, Connors, NFC East, most surprising. What do you think?
The Cowboy fans think that they're going to be a good team.
Okay, that's some King Petty, but okay, I got you. I'm gonna stay with you, Connors. Wrapping up with the NFC West. Best thing headed into the season, NFC West.
That they don't play in the South. I'm going to go with, I don't even know, to tell you the truth. Geez, what's the best thing coming out of? Let's go with McCaffrey coming back. Hopefully he'll be healthy. Guy's been a stud. Panthers got a boatload for him when they gave him up. So let's see what he does this year. Hopefully he'll be healthy again. I hate to see anyone injured. Don't wish that on my worst enemy. But we'll go with San Fran and see if they can get over the hump in the playoffs this year.
All right. God, man, best thing, NFC West headed into the season.
Oh, I like the Rams, man. I like the Rams. I like Stafford was having a little, situation going on with his back, and I know I've hurt my back before, so I know that's serious. It affects your whole body, so it's good that he's back on the field. As long as he's on the field, the Rams are the best to win that division, in my opinion. I think they're better than San Fran. They need what they have. You know what I'm saying? They have much better.
San Fran plays no one.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. I mean,
No one.
if you can roll up nine or win in games playing Sisters of the Poor, do it. At the end of the day, it comes down to numbers, and yours need to be more than his to get in the playoffs. I think the Rams could definitely do it. So they're probably the best thing from the NFC West.
All right, Cotton. Worst thing, NFC West headed into the season. What do you think?
Oh man, there's a lot of other the worst. Probably the Seahawks. I mean, the Seahawks, I don't really know like what they are doing or what they are.
Sam Darnold, baby.
I mean, they gave him a bunch of money, got rid of all his weapons. You know, Kenneth Walker. I think Charbonnet is going to be the guy who's going to at some point because Walker can't stay healthy. It's just I know it when you sign a quarterback to big money, it's supposed to feel good, and I know they don't feel good by doing that.
Okay.
So yeah.
Connors, worst thing, NFC West headed into the season.
I'm gonna go Cardinals with Kyler Murray still as the quarterback and James Gannon, a defensive coordinator, former coordinator for the Eagles, as the head coach. I would have thought that they would have tried to get another quarterback in there, or at least an offensive-minded coach. Gannon is a good up-and-coming young coach defensively, but I worry about their offense. I thought they'd try to do a little more in the offseason to bolster that.
All right, and I'm gonna stay with you, sir. Most surprising thing, NFC West. What you got for me?
I'm going to go with Sam Darnold to the Seahawks. Sam had a great season last year with the Vikings. After a tumultuous career with the Jets and then with the Panthers, he seemed to find a real groove there. He seemed to be beloved by his teammates. They rallied around him in the locker room and on the field. I'm still surprised that the Vikings let him go for the guy who hands the ball off so well. But the Seahawks have kind of sputtered a little bit. They gave him a lot of money. They're putting a big investment in him after one very good season. I'm surprised that he got the show like that out in Seattle, but hopefully he does well.
All right, Codman, close us out. Most surprising thing, NFC West.
I'm surprised the Niners paid Brock Purdy. That's probably the most surprised. I mean, you know,
Mr. Irrelevant.
yeah, I mean, he's not a guy that can just make magic happen. He's not, there's only a couple guys that can do that, and for them to pay him that kind of money and then regret and remove a lot of guy, Ayuk, the guy, I don't even know if we'll see that guy this year. You lose Samuel, and he had 1 year left anyway, so I don't know why you didn't just keep him for the year, and it'd be cheap anyway. CMC is, everyone's kind of talking about him, not, he's walking on one leg, and I believe so. I would stay away from him as a fantasy manager. It's just, Ricky Pearsall and who's your other receiver? It's going to be a rough season, and I was just surprised that they paid him. I mean, now they're kind of locked in on this regular guy, and I mean, you paid a game manager, but
I love it.
when you have all pros around you, it's not hard to manage.
Okay. All right. That was great. So when we get back in segment 3, we're going to get you ready to talk about things strictly for entertainment purposes only with the people I talk to about things strictly for entertainment purposes only. We'll be right back on the iCoaches Podcast. Hi, everyone. Dr. Keith Adams here. And for over 30 years, I've dedicated my life to helping student athletes succeed, not just on the fields and the courts, but in the classroom and beyond. And that's why I founded the CKA Save Project. The CKA Save Project understands that finding the balance between academics and athletics is crucial for long-term success. That's why the CKA Save Project offers a range of programs, including personalized consulting, mentorship, and coming in 2027, our innovative Gap Year Basketball Academy designed to assist both young men and women reach their full potential both on and off the court. I'm incredibly excited to announce that the CK Save Project is now partnering with the Cascade Sports Network. This partnership will allow us the opportunity to amplify our message and reach even more student athletes through the Odd Coaches Podcast and other exciting initiatives. Join the CKA Save Project and the Cascade Sports Network as we empower the next generation of student athletes. Visit CKA on the web at www.ckasaveproject.org to learn more. Let's work together to find the balance and help unlock your potential. Welcome back to the iCoaches Podcast in segment 3, where we talk about things strictly for entertainment purposes only. So headed into the season, here is my preseason top 5. Once the season gets going, I turn this over to our cavalcade of stars. Eagles 1, to go beat them. Kansas City 2, George Acker to say, go beat them. Buffalo 3, this is your opportunity to, yes, go beat them. Baltimore 4, I'm a little nervous about whatever that injury is that they didn't talk about with Lamar Jackson. And the Detroit Lions 5, I am not overly sold on the Green Bay thing, even though I did pick them to win the NFC North. Outside looking in, Commanders, Packers, Rams, Cincinnati Bengals, I'll pay attention. And the Minnesota Vikings, they are split on this kid that hands the ball off. They tell me he's good. Let's go see it. So strictly for entertainment purposes only, the Our Coaches Podcast is all in on sports betting. For the past 5 years, we've dabbled, prepped, prepared. Now we're all in because I've got a little more extra time since the day job is not as taxing. So follow me on the X platform at Odd Coaches for our season-long and weekly predictions. Give us a week to kind of settle this thing down, and then we'll be rocking and rolling. So for those who do things strictly for entertainment purposes only, here's why my wife doesn't care that I gamble. All of my regular season game bets are $5 bets, postseason $10 bets, and the NFL championship game bets, 15. I use VSiN, I use CBS Sportsline, I use AI, and I use my coaching instinct. So again, follow me on Odd Coaches Podcast or the X platform. So gentlemen, week 1, are there any games, Mike Connors, that have caught your eye for week 1?
Well, I was really looking forward to the Dallas-Philadelphia game, to the big trade. I still hope they both lose, but I think Philadelphia is going to go out and put a world of hurt on Dallas with that game. And let's see, a couple others that interest me are, let's see, I think Las Vegas, New England is going to be a very good game with the new coach Vrabel there. The Giants versus the Commanders. That's a game I am a Giants fan, as everyone knows, but I think realistically, that's one of the real interest games of the weekend. The Giants have shown some things that people didn't think they'd show in the preseason. The team seems to be revved up. The Commanders are an excellent organization, an excellent team coming off a great year. Will they have a hiccup with the second-year quarterback? Can the Giants exploit that? I think that'll be a very, very good game. And the Monday night game, Minnesota-Chicago, historically, that's always a very good rivalry game. So first week, we're gonna have some bangers out there.
All right, Cotton Man, any games catch your eye week 1 of the season?
Oh, Green Bay, Detroit, that's going to be fireworks up where you go. You don't get the real vibe because it's not snowing in Green Bay just yet. So
it could be. It was 40. Who knows, right? It was 43 degrees here this morning in New Jersey.
Oh yeah, exactly. Who knows? Might get some flurries. Pittsburgh and New York. I know my man Rodgers want to put a little get back on Mike Brown, or is that Mike Brown? Either way, the Jets want to get some good back on the Jets. We'll see. They have a really good slate of games. I'm pretty happy about that. I'll be tuned in. Obviously, I will be at the Washington game. Be enjoying.
I hope the food's better.
Huh?
I hope the food is better.
Oh, we're going to be in the club area, so it's going to be a little better. But we eating before we go anyway?
Please, I don't know where you're going to eat. There's nothing by the stadium. Sorry, fans. I went to the preseason game. CK was thinking about getting season tickets, and I was just a little underwhelmed with my experience. So I complained to Cotton about it, and I felt like I was standing in line at the cafeteria, and the food wasn't very good anyway. So, but the game seats were great, though.
Yeah.
All right. So this has been a great preview. I got to pause, though. This past weekend, I had the opportunity, as many people around me know, I'm a big Prince fan, and they had Sign of the Times and IMAX and the sound and the stereos. So I have my Starfish and Coffee shirt on, the Susanna version. So it was excellent seeing him in theater, and I actually reached out to my former players and I asked about this Chris Brown thing. No hate, but to be able to see Prince on the big screen, that was just so. I'm just marked out about that. And as we enter the season, we're going to follow this. We're going to have great fun with this. So we're very happy you're here. So on behalf of our Cavalcade of Stars, I'm Dr. Keith Adams saying thank you for listening and or watching the Odd Coaches podcast. Also seen on the Cascade Sports Network. What's up, Kansas City? And we will see you on the sidelines. Until next time, take care.
The Odd Coaches podcast is sponsored by the CKA Save Project. The CKA Save Project is an industry leader in providing student-athlete academic and athletic support. From assessing student-athletes' academic and athletic skills, to measuring and monitoring student-athlete academic progress, to improving student-athlete time management and organizational skills, the CKA Save Project provides wraparound services for student-athletes from middle school through college. For more information, visit us on the web at www.ckasaveproject.org or schedule a free consultation with Dr. Keith Adams by emailing cka@ckasaveproject.org. We hope you enjoyed today's show. The Odd Coaches podcast drops new episodes every Tuesday through Friday on most weeks. Make sure you subscribe to the Odd Coaches podcast on Apple Music, iHeartRadio, Podbean, Spotify, and YouTube. Follow the Odd Coaches podcast on Twitter and Instagram at Odd Coaches. Follow Dr. Adams on Twitter and Instagram at CKA Save Project. In addition, follow Coach Mike Francis on Twitter and Instagram at Coach Franchise, spelled Coach FRANCHIZE. For more information about the CKA Save Project, please visit them on the web at www.ckasaveproject.org. See you next time on the Odd Coaches podcast.